It's the Daily Dog.
Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Daily Doug. I am thrilled to welcome multi-instrumentalist and composer Rachel Flowers to the Daily Doug program. And Rachel, welcome. I am very happy to be speaking with you today.
Hi, Doug. How are you doing?
I am great. It is good to be with you. And I must say that since I've been doing my little YouTube channel here, many of my supporters and my patrons and people that watch my videos have been saying, hey, Doug, hey, you gotta listen to Rachel. She's over here just ripping it up, and so I've listened to some of your music, and I have to agree, it is quite breathtaking. And so I'm eager to chat with you today. As I read in, if I get anything wrong, you let me know.
Okay.
But it says that you started piano at around 4 years old.
2.5, actually.
Two and a half.
hmm
Wow. The only thing I was doing when I was that young is maybe playing with like a wiffle ball and or playing sports. That's about all I was up to. So,
Yeah. And I
and
started taking professional piano lessons at 4.
okay. Okay. When I was four, I was playing t-ball. So, yeah, we know who the talent is here. Come on. So, uh as you got to learn piano, what was it like? What is one of your early memories of experiencing or playing music? Or is there any particular song that you remember learning, or a performer whose music that you remember hearing and being inspired by?
Oh, I don't really remember. I do remember listening a whole lot to Beethoven's Moonlight Sonata,
Mm.
and I would try to copy it on the piano. And at the time, my hands were so small that I couldn't reach the stretch of the octave.
I'll be darned. Yeah, still as an adult, my hand, even though I'm a pretty big guy, I can barely reach a ninth. So,
Mhm.
Rachmaninoff, I cannot play, even if I tried.
I love
Uh,
Rachmaninoff's concertos.
they're wonderful, aren't they? They're
hmm
just astounding.
That
Uh,
is.
I I also read that you play the flute
hmm
and play the guitar and the bass and the saxophone, but it mentions that you've dabbled in the on the Chapman stick.
hmm Yeah, for a
N-
little bit. Yeah.
Now that's an instrument that I've only recently really understood and heard. I heard Crimson and Tony Levin playing it on Discipline for the
hmm
first time a few weeks ago, and it's a remarkable,
hmm
remarkable instrument.
Elephant Talk.
Yes,
hmm
what a great album, right?
Yeah.
Really, really fun. So I read that, and this is evident in the more that I listen to your music, it is evident that you are completely taken by and love uh, all types of music. I hear jazz in your stuff. I hear like classical orchestral stuff in your music. I hear Keith Emerson and Prague in your music. I hear just a whole bunch of stuff, and it's really unique. So congratulations on all of your music. I am a new fan,
Oh, thanks.
and so if you were to kind of talk, so I came. Let me just start here.
Okay.
I was reading on your website a blog that you had put up there, albums that have greatly influenced your life.
Oh yeah. hmm
So we have some of these in common. And for me, the commonality is new because I'm relatively new. But you mentioned in there Spock's Beard. Uh,
hmm
Five, I've listened to some of that. Tarkus by ELP. That is one of these pieces that's just out of nowhere. Can you remember or tell me about what it was like to first hear that, and especially the process that you used to try to learn a song like that?
hmm I remember. I can't remember when this was. What was this? I don't remember now, but
Hmm.
somebody, when I started getting into ELP, I first heard their music when I was about 9 with the trilogy.
Okay.
And then sometime later, I think it was when I was about, I don't remember, 16 or something like that, when I was doing jazz piano.
Okay.
And somebody told me about Tarkus by ELP, and I was like, well, I got to check that out. So I was at my Uncle Kelly's house from my dad's side of the family, and I forgot who it was, one of the cousins. I don't remember which one, but there was I think it was like one of the early streaming platforms or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, do they have Tarkus by Emerson, Lake and Palmer? And she's like, oh my goodness, it's 20 minutes. Like, I have to check this out. So I'm listening. And I had what were those cassette tape recorders, the small ones? Walkman.
Yeah. Yeah. The Walkman with the little
Yeah.
tapes in them. Yeah.
You hit the record button.
Hmm.
And I would just, the first time I heard it, I had it on record, and hearing the sound of the Hammond organ used in a rock setting.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I started listening to jazz organ, but not that much yet. Like now I'm really hooked on jazz organ from Jimmy Smith and Jack McDuff. But at the time, I was just so fascinated by the way that Keith Emerson used the organ, the sounds that he was getting and the distortion. And so I would listen to like the first challenge was I'll just play the first couple sections. The Stones of Ear solo, that was like one of my favorite organ solos. So, and I was playing it on a single manual keyboard, not the best organ sound, but I was just, it doesn't matter. I'm just going to teach myself how to play all this stuff by ear and just listen to it.
So that's that's part of my question. Your process of learning a song like Tarkus, are you just hearing it and recreating it from what you hear, or do you have a score that you can somehow reference to help you learn it?
It's all done by ear.
That's incredible.
That having muscle memory and also having perfect pitch, and just like listening to a section multiple times, and I would concentrate on the main theme for the most part, like the bass line, and then because I took music theory classes when I was doing classical flute for a while. Well, like with classical flute music, it was all Braille music notation, which is Braille is done with 6 dots. And it's a challenge because I have to use one hand to read the music notation, and in my other hand I would sit at the piano or I would sing it. Sure. Yeah, but if it's piano stuff or keyboard stuff, it's easy to just learn by ear because then I can really get the
flow.
Yeah, the flow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have perfect pitch by any stretch of the imagination, but I've developed over the years pretty decent relative pitch. And one of the ways that I did that was by playing this little game of like, hey, I'd hear this song on the radio. I'm like, okay, can I figure out like what key even if I can't figure out what key it's in, like if that's the 1 chord, then where's the 5 chord and where's the, and I could figure, and I go home and play it. And if once I figure out what key it was in, and so that's part of how I got interested in and especially as a composer with writing your own stuff. Like when I was first starting out, like I would have these sounds that I would dream up in my head, and I didn't have any way to really translate it to sheet music so other musicians could hear it, and it drove me crazy. So I better learn how to relate this so that other people can hear it. Otherwise, I need to find a different profession. I found a video of you playing some of Tarkus on Keith's own modular Moog.
Oh yeah.
Do you mind if I play a little bit of the beginning of that?
Oh, no, I don't mind that. That would be pretty cool. That was wild getting to play it on Keith's instruments right there at Gene Stopp's house.
So Gene is a person that owned this instrument that was Keith's, right? Was that in the in England, or is that here in the United States?
He didn't own it.
No, he didn't own it. I think he.
But you need to find out which video it is.
Which video?
Oh, sure. Oh, so I'm going to share my screen, and this one is one. Let's see. There we go. So this is one where
He was best in Moog.
Yeah, he was fixing. Gene was fixing the Moog for
oh,
Keith.
he was fixing it. Okay. So here we see Rachel, and this is back from 2012. So this has already been a decade ago, and it's three manuals of stuff. There's a whole lot of wires around here, and here's the first. Let's play the eruption part of it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Here
And
we
I
go.
played it very fast.
There it goes. There it goes. You know, if I can't get my left hand to do anything that complicated, so congratulations.
Hey. Thanks there. I like the live version.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's an amazing, amazing piece of music.
That's one of my favorites. One of my favorite epics by ELP. Early ELP.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
That was when the creativity was just like endless.
Off the charts, right?
Yeah. He's got that instrumental side for composition, and Greg Lake was the one who was like, let's add in some melodies so that people can sing, and I can sing.
And then it's going to go into the Stones section.
Yeah, it's going to be here.
Yeah, and but we'll let people. I'm going to stop my sharing my screen.
They can check it out. They can check out the rest of the videos.
I'll put the link in the description so that everybody can go and watch the rest of that performance.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I read that you had some issues with the recorders, the cameras for that one, but the audio sounds really, really fantastic. Really great. So another was, as I was reading more from your blog about all of these albums that you love, I've got some of them now. So I have for the first time in my entire life, I have a turntable, and it's relatively new, and I'm newly kind of into vinyl because it sounds so great. And so I've got, so one of the ones you mentioned was Chris Squire and his album Fish Out of Water.
Yeah.
I've got that one. And I've got that Marvin Gaye album, What's Going On, except I had the live version.
That's wild. I would love to check that out because I heard on one of DJ Questlove's from the Roots on the YouTube. Yeah, and he did a thing on Marvin Gaye, and he played a little bit of the live version. He's saying stuff like, so when Marvin was performing this live, it wasn't rehearsed. So yeah.
Yeah, we bought it. Let's see, we got our turntable. It's been a little over a month, actually a month and a half since we've had it. And we went to our local record store, and we were flipping through and just shopping, and I found this recording of Marvin Gaye, What's Going On, and it said it's the live version, and it's a rare one, right? And so that I grabbed that one right up.
Yeah, I remember Questlove saying that was the only time they performed it, and you could tell that. Yeah, that I would be fascinated to check it out because the studio version is such an iconic recording. It's like soul, it's jazz, it's
Mm.
symphonic, it's it in the way that Marvin expresses all sorts of things, whether if it's religion or social or spirituality or
He
pretty
had a,
much everything, and it's
yeah.
so cool.
Go ahead.
Another favorite version of What's Going On is Donny Hathaway on his live album.
Okay.
Yeah, that's another. I love that version as well, because he's taking Marvin's What's Going On, the title song,
Mm-hmm.
and he gives it an extra jazz feel, like there's this extra swing to it.
All
It's
right.
really, yeah, it's really cool.
All right. Well, maybe we'll finally figure out what is going on if we listen to it enough and we
Yeah.
think on it enough, you know.
It's one of
I saw that you love Herbie Hancock and his album Possibilities, and you and I are both fans of Jacob Collier, apparently.
Aha. That's so cool.
He's amazing, isn't he?
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite, or can you remember, like, what's the first thing you heard from Jacob that made you go, "This, I've got to listen to this"?
Oh, his version of his reharmonization of Gershwin's Fascinating Rhythm.
Fascinating rhythm. He's really is incredible. I have I don't have him on LP, but I have his Jesse albums.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that you listed the Jesse albums as some of your favorites, and
Yeah, those are cool.
the version of All Night Long still gets me dancing. It just gets me dancing.
With Take 6.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's such beautiful, nuanced sounds that we hear. And speaking of nuanced and beautiful sounds, so Rachel, it seems like you got sort of your start and sort of noticed by the musical community by doing some of these covers, especially of ELP stuff.
Yeah.
But you've got some albums of your own. Listen was released in 2016. And then Going Somewhere was your second album, and that was in 2018. You did some stuff with Michael Sadler of Saga.
Yeah.
I saw a clip of you doing, was it Nights in White Satin with Michael at Progstock?
Yeah, on the Fazioli piano.
Tell me about that a little bit. How did that come about?
Oh, I don't remember now.
A few years ago, was that?
Something like the Tom Palmieri.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah, the organizers of Progstock.
And the organizers at Progstock, they set us up to collaborate, I think.
It was wonderful. I watched that with some of our patrons over on my Patreon, and we really enjoyed that one. And then your newer album is called Bigger on the Inside, and this one was released in October of last year. And you have sent me a song. I asked everybody. I asked Rachel. I said, if we were going to listen to something of yours that we want to share with everybody, there is a phone going on.
I think that's me.
All right.
If I had voiceover, it would.
Hold on a second, let her try and get rid of that.
Oh, you're fine.
Notification Center, United States. Now in window, do not accept button. From your iPhone, United States, accept from your NS menu, Zoom.us, Zoom.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm going to reset my headphones here, but I was wanting to hear some of your music, and so when I asked if there was a track that you wanted us to listen to together, you sent me a track called "The Darkness." And so, can you tell me a little bit about this song while I get it pulled up?
Yeah. So I had this song idea in, I think it was 2016. I can't fully remember, but had this dream one night where I had just started getting into a Porcupine Tree Stephen Wilson phase at this time, along with the multiple different lineups of King Crimson, and at the same time I was really enjoying R&B from Marvin, well, like soul music from Marvin Gaye and Mary J. Blige and Alicia Keys.
Wow.
Yeah, and then with a lot of like guitar driven music that I used to listen to when I was little, from Joe Satriani and Steve Vai.
Right.
Yeah, and then Steely Dan. What else? Trying to think of what else. Oh, and Keith Emerson's last, well, the album that he did with the orchestra, the like towards the end of his life, the Three Fates project with Mark Bonilla. Yeah. So one night I'm having this dream where I'm hearing this metal driven guitar bass line, and I've been listening a lot to Dream Theater's Metropolis Scenes from a Memory and 6 Degrees of Inner Turbulence.
Right.
Yeah. So
great albums.
Yeah. So I'm having this dream, and then I instantly get my phone out. I sing the idea. So I was like, that sounds like a wild idea. And initially I was hearing like a male vocalist in my head, like a Stephen Wilson. I was thinking Spock's Beard with Neil Morse.
Right.
And I wasn't quite sure what, like I had all the instrumental parts worked out after that, but vocals, I couldn't figure it out until maybe like, I don't know how many years ago recently, like a few years ago or something. And yeah.
Is it you singing on the track?
Yeah, I'm playing all the instruments. The singing is all me. The orchestra stuff, I'm using really old technology with Cakewalk Sonar on Windows.
Okay.
With a screen reader, which is outdated, and I'm hoping sometime after my crazy trip at New Jersey and like in October, sometime in the future, I would like to get set up with Mac with a Logic Pro. I have this new friend named Matthew Whitaker, and he's an amazing jazz gospel keyboard player and musician and composer and arranger, and he's gonna set me up with all that stuff. But
that's great.
Yeah, but at the time I was doing all this using Windows with the sound libraries are not accessible, so I have a sighted assistant to help me out with that stuff virtually, remotely. But
well, it comes off really, really well. I was impressed by the orchestration of it, quite frankly.
Thanks.
So we've got everything in this. We've got some orchestration stuff. We've got some guitar, and you've got some soul. You've got everything in this. So I'm going to share my screen again, and we are going to listen to The Darkness from Bigger on the Inside, Rachel's third album. This is about a 10-minute track, but we're going to enjoy it together, and it goes like this. Here we go. Of course, you get me at the beginning because you start with the horn. One of my favorite instruments.
Yeah, French horns are my favorite. They're my favorite sounds too.
Mine too.
I think one of the first things that I ever heard where the French horn was the lead instrument was when I was just a kid. Star Trek Deep Space Nine theme.
That theme, great theme.
Yeah. And then also the James Horner score of Titanic.
Sure.
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun. Yeah.
Not the Celine Dion song, but the other stuff in this. The instrumental score. Yeah.
Kind of turns minor there. I think you're in D.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trumpet sound. trumpet sample. Kind of Florian mode.
Sure.
Yeah, it kind of changes a bit. I love the sound of song. Chimes.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol. It reminds me of movie music, Rachel. I can imagine scenery with this. And quite frankly, I don't imagine darkness in this scenery. You know?
It's very peaceful. It's like I love film scores. I love watching movies now.
Woo! There's a guitar. I'm gonna.
Out once I put it like that, those times Can you hear me just fine?
Yeah, I can't. Something has happened with my screen, so it's kind of frozen a little bit, but the music is still playing.
That's weird.
What is going on? I'm just gonna let it go for now.
Okay.
Yeah. Come the drums.
Where's the riff I heard in the dream?
Okay.
And many miles away, taking time away, with nothing rushing me today, but with the darkness interfering me, I am hearing things that's making me feel lots of fear. I'm running faster as I leave this place, always on a race, with only one real goal in mind, the rumble of these massive thunder clouds coming all around. But now I think of what I just found. Now the sun is always shining in its place, no more darkness or destruction out in space. For a while I've been searching for this place.
I'm really enjoying this.
The world is turning with winds of change. The world is speaking of winds of change. This place is moving to rearrange again. But the darkness always comes back again. Speak of problems never solved, and you'll wonder where they'll go. And some people speak their minds, just thinking what they know.
Great singing.
Yeah, the sun is always shining in its place. No more darkness or destruction out in space. For a while I've been searching for this place, and things are very
flat two. There you go.
The world is speaking of winds of change. This place is moving to rearrange again. But the darkness always comes back again.
Are you playing guitar too?
Yep. Yep.
All right. Right? There's the 3, and then that's an E flat chord. That's amazing. It's a great progression. Yeah. That flat 2 major 7, it's one of my favorite things to use too. Yeah.
Fun.
Lovely.
The world is turning with winds of change. The world is speaking of winds of change. The world is turning with winds of change. The world is speaking of winds of change. The world is turning with winds of change. The world is speaking of winds of change. The world is turning with winds of change. The world is speaking of winds of change. The world is turning with winds of change. The world is speaking of winds of change. This place is moving to rearrange again.
It's really great.
Hey.
It's really great, Rachel. How did you get the drums to sound like that?
I was using the. Can anybody hear me?
Yes.
Okay. All the drum parts are played live on the keyboard. I'm using one of Sonar's drum libraries, the only accessible drum library on Sonar.
Okay.
But I was able to put some audio effects on it to give it that rocking edge with the compressors and equalizing.
Yeah, it's one of the better like electronic drums tracks that I've heard like ever. Now I am okay. Good. Now my computer finally came back. That's amazing. So
Thank you.
I only hope that the Zoom stuff kind of kept going. I was able to hear it, but my screen went black, so I wasn't able to see anything. And but I really thoroughly enjoyed that. And you know, I hear elements of all of those musicians that we talked about, especially Neil Morris, in that. But more than anything, I hear Rachel. And it's really, really fantastic. So congratulations on that. I was reading a couple of years ago that there is a documentary that was made about your life and your musical pursuits so far. And it's called Hearing is Believing. And that was released in 2017.
Yep.
How did that come about? And what was that like filming a documentary as such a young person?
That was very interesting. I don't remember how it
Lorenzo was friends with Hans.
Oh yeah, that's right. The film director Lorenzo Di Stefano. He was friends with my late guitar player Hans Odson, and I miss him. I miss Hans a lot, and but but Lorenzo was able to, like, he was interested in maybe making a documentary on my music, and well, not so much music, but more about my life and stuff I was doing, like feels like a while ago now.
I'm sure, right? Especially you know, we're into 2022 now, and that I think came out in 2017, so they were probably filming it before then.
Yeah, we filmed it. I think we started filming around, what was it 2014, something like that. Yeah, so almost like 8 years or something like that.
I've seen some of it. I'm gonna keep watching more of it, but your story is just a real fascinating story. You know, and the zeal that you approach your music with, it just rubs off on everybody. And speaking of rubbing off on everybody, you are coming to do some performances near where I am, and I expect that I will be in the crowd at least one of them. So
cool.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So let's first talk about Prog Stock. This is in my backyard in New Jersey. I'm hoping to make it. I live in New Jersey, and I think I'm only about 30 or 40 minutes drive from where this is happening. But you are assembling a pretty large band to play with you. Tell me about what the people that you are assembling to play, and what sort of music is going to be on your set list.
Yeah.
You need help?
Yeah, I might need some help.
Well, I read that one of the vocalists, you've got 4 vocalists, including one of them is your mother. So that's going to be great. It says here you've got a couple of guitar players, a violinist, a bass player, a drummer, and another keyboardist beside yourself. That's almost 2 basketball teams. That's a hefty number of folks on stage. Are you going to be doing a lot of your own stuff, some covers? What songs are on the list?
Both. I'm going to start with 3 originals, and then we're going to do a cover. And yeah, we're going to do 2 originals from this new album, Bigger on the Inside, which is going to be pretty cool to finally perform some of these songs with a live band for the first time. Because I've been used to doing solo piano performances of these songs, and to do it with a live band is going to be pretty wild.
Great.
Yeah.
Great. Where I think I will see you, where I know I will see you, is you are going to be opening for Renaissance on their tour. And I believe I am going to the New Jersey show, which is over in Red Bank, and I'm looking forward to being there. How did you get, hooked up with Renaissance for their tour?
I don't really know. I don't really remember.
I've talked with Annie before. It's like I interviewed Annie last year, and so when I saw that Renaissance was going to be doing a tour and celebrating some of Annie and some of her back catalog, and then they said, well, Rachel Flowers is going to be opening. I'm like, well, I have to buy tickets now. I have to buy tickets. And so my wife Megan and I are going to be there, and we're really looking forward to that. Will that also be with the band, or will that be just solo piano stuff?
Solo piano.
Okay.
Yeah, I think was it a mutual friend, Tom Brislin, was the one that got me hooked up with Annie Haslam. Is that what it was? Yeah. Yeah, Tom Brislin, where I've been a huge fan of his music, and I got to hear him in Kansas. Got to do a show. How was it? A couple weeks ago or something. Yeah, it was really good. But my favorite part was catching up with Tom and just chatting for a bit.
Great.
Yeah.
It's no it's easy to understand why so many people are eager to play music with you. It's just fun, and I maybe sometime we could play some music together as well. I'm not as good on the piano, but I'll be able to follow you. How about that?
Okay, that would be
That
wild.
sounds fun. That would be fun. After you do this these little tour stops, what's next? What are you working on? That another solo album, or what are you
Oh,
thinking is going to be coming up
fun.
soon?
And I've been working on a bunch of bunch of solo albums. I'm going to be going more towards a jazz vocal inspired, like writing songs in the spirit of Frank Sinatra, Ella Fitzgerald, Sarah Vaughan, Dinah Washington.
Wow.
Uh,
I'll have to pre-order then, because that sounds great.
mhm.
That sounds
And
great.
it's just a lot of fun, really exploring the vibratos in the singing style
Mm-hmm.
and phrasing. Like what I love about Frank Sinatra's approach to a song is it like these singers, they sing the same song, but they give it a different twist. Like Sarah Vaughan is very operatic in the way that she delivers a song,
Mm-hmm.
and the vibrato, it's a fast, wide vibrato. But sometimes I hear myself going more towards sort of a cross between Frank Sinatra and Ella, because Ella had that really cool blend of the techniques and the clarity of the words, and singing the melody the first time around of a song and then getting fancy with it. But then Frank Sinatra was more about, I'm going to deliver the song, but I'm like, we're having a conversation approach. So that's what I love about diving into his recordings. And
That's a really nice adjective, I think, for the way that Frank sings. He's conversational.
yeah.
Like I'm thinking of "Fly Me to the Moon" that comes on.
Mhm.
Is in my head. And he's like, the song comes
Yeah.
on. He's like, "Fly me to
To
the
the
moon
moon,
and
let
let
me play among
among
those
the stars."
stars.
He's almost holding back a little bit from the tempo. He's like,
Mhm.
"Y'all know the song. I'm Frank, and I'm here singing it along with you."
Fly me to the moon and let me play among these stars.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's great. Oh,
I
will that be all originals, or will you do some
all
from the catalog too?
all originals, all
All
originals.
originals.
Yeah, I love challenging myself to just write in the styles. It's cool. It's like it's just fun. And a lot of it is really, it really goes to it sort of came from my fascination with the tragic story of Amy Winehouse and her ambition.
Yeah.
And I want to make that happen, but way beyond. Like Amy didn't, it's hard for me to say this, but Amy didn't really care too much about enunciating words, even though she idolized Frank Sinatra and Sarah Vaughan and Ella Fitzgerald and Dinah. And so once I really started diving into all these jazz greats since like the ending of last year, I was just like, oh, okay, so that's how you actually sing in that authentic jazz style, and you actually enunciate the words.
Mm-hmm.
And then just like that, I'm having these incredible dreams, and then I'm writing these songs and recording them, and I'm just so happy that I get to create it right there in the moment in my room and just have a good time with it. And
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And
Mhm.
one of the things that I saw when I was reading up on your work and your career is that are these all like recorded and mixed like in your bedroom in your house?
Yeah, everything is recorded in my house.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and all the mixing was done in my house. Well, except for Listen. Listen was, here's all the tracks that I did at my house. And then I had my drummer friend, Paul Tavener. He didn't play on it, but he's an engineer as well as an amazing drummer and amazing human being. And he's just pretty cool. But he did the final mixing on that first album. But everything else, I did all the mixing, and then the mastering I would send the songs virtually in an email to Steve Smith
Steve Smith did the last one.
Ah,
on the last album. Yeah, so
okay.
he gave the final. I was like, here's the low version of the final mix, but I wanted to give it an extra rock edge with a little bit of compression here and there. And then like he would expand on some of the frequencies to get that final touch, and it's
That's
just pretty
great.
cool. Yeah, it's awesome. Like yeah.
I can imagine. I mean, I've all the writing that I've done, most of the writing that I've done has been for choirs. So my music typically I get asked to write music for whether it's a professional choir or a middle school or a high school or community choir. That's most of my output.
Wow.
And so I haven't had to build up my home studio with all the bells and whistles as much, because the music that I've been making, I write the score and then I send it off and other people then rehearse it and perform it. And I'm just now getting into building up some of my own arsenal to to make some of my own sounds. So it's
cool.
it's so liberating, isn't it? Just to be able to play and express your feelings and just let your hands go where they go.
Yeah.
It's
Awesome.
wonderful. Well, when do you think that the new album is going to be available?
Well, the first one, I'm still waiting for the day when we're going to get live horn players to finish three of the songs for this first album.
Okay.
Sometime next year. I'm hoping sometime next year.
Yeah.
Because I would like to get started on the next one to get the final touches, and also hopefully, like, I would like to get the people that I'm imagining. So
I wish you great luck and success and continued success, and I'm looking forward to seeing you perform in person. And and hopefully I'll be able to say hello to you. But if not, I will continue to be in touch with you via email, and maybe we can chat again sometime and listen to some music together. That'd be really fun.
Would love to do that again. This is really cool.
It's my pleasure to have Rachel Flowers with me here, and very much enjoy her music and just Rachel's entire story. It's really a wonderful story, and the music is top notch. And people, I believe, can find you at, is it rachelflowersmusic.com? That is your website?
Yeah.
I believe, right? So if you have more, if you want more on Rachel and what she is up to, that is where you can find her. And she's got a lot of great stuff on YouTube and her Bandcamp. And if this song, The Darkness is any indication, I'm gonna need to buy Bigger on the Inside quite soon, so I can listen myself. So. Thanks for sharing some of your time today, and we'll see you soon. Okay.
Yeah, you too.
All right. We'll see you soon.
Yep, you too.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.